Hello, everybody. So, it is only a couple of days until the start of season. It is very, very exciting. We open up at Adams Park against Exeter, but I thought I would do a video just going through what you can expect and what I believe you can expect from this new look Wycombe team. Now, not all of us had had the chance to go to all the friendlies and to see how this team has been lining out. I was lucky enough to attend Wealdstone away and Cardiff at home, and I was able to decipher what I believe how we're going to play this season. And I will bring in the handy whiteboard to help show you. So, first, pretty simple in goals, we have Max Striek. Now, one thing about Max Striek is phenomenal shot stopper, but has struggled with passing this season. But at the Cardiff match, he did seem a lot calmer on his feet. One of the things that I have noticed is there's a lot fewer balls going long to Sam Vokes or to Dale Taylor, but there's a lot more balls going to the centre backs or these wing backs. Now, one of the most common things we're seeing is from free kicks is Richard Keogh pulls down, Max passes the ball to Richard Keogh, who then plays out often to the centre backs or the wing backs. Richard Keogh has a phenomenal range of passing, and that makes sense to do. He will be better on the ball than Max Striek. Speaking of Richard Keogh, this is the line-out I imagine that we'll play the majority of matches with if everybody is fit. Richard Keogh starts in the middle. He has been phenomenal in his pre-season games, where he lacks in speed, in tackling, in intensity. He more than makes up for in his reading of the game, in his ability of aerial duels. I don't think I've seen him lose a single aerial duel yet. And in terms of his passing ability, which is phenomenal. He will be sitting in the centre to allow the other two people on the side to do most of the running. He will be dropping back the furthest, I believe, to pick up the ball from Max and to play it out. We're playing largely from the centre backs now. We're not always hoofing it long. There are some long balls, but they're coming through when it's necessary, not just hit it to Akinfenwa, hit it to Sam Vokes, hit it to Uche every time and hope he gets his head in one. If there's a free ball on, fair enough, we'll go long. If there isn't, we'll play out of the back. On the left, I believe we'll have Tafazolli if he is fit. We have seen JJ there, we have seen Lowe there, we've seen Crispino Joseph there. That's the nature of our centre-backs. We actually do have a number of centre-backs who can rotate pretty well. So I believe if Taff is there, he offers a pretty good bog-standard centre-back. He's actually fairly quick, very good in the air, he's strong, he's just an all-action centre-back. Now, on the right, we will have either Grimmer or Crispino Joseph. They both offer something different. Crispino Joseph is our best all-round defender. Jack of all trades, master of none. He can pass relatively well. He can win the ball in the air relatively well. He can tackle. He doesn't top any charts, but he's always around the top. But if we have Grimmer, something very exciting happens. So you may notice Kane Vincent-Young on our right-hand side and Harry Boys in our left-hand side. But there are times that if we're playing particularly high, that Vincent-Young pushes forward extraordinarily high, Boys drops back and becomes a right back, and Grimmer pushes over and becomes a right back. So we almost have a four at the back, with Boys, the other centre back, Keogh, and Grimmer. So for example, Boys, Crispino, Keogh, and Grimmer as a four back with Kane Vincent-Young pushing very high up the pitch, operating almost as a winger or a right midfielder. That does not happen every time, but it's something that we can drop into if we believe the space is there, if we believe that's the right play. That is one of the things about this team that I have seen. It is very tactically fluid. We can be a five back, we can be a four back very quickly. It can happen like that. In general, these two wing backs will look to get forward quite a lot. Even if it remains a five back, these two will want to push forward, get onto, say, the boxes here. They will want to get to the edge of the box and put low crosses in. Low crosses. We do have Sam Folks, but the majority of our players will have Breckin or Gareth McCleary, will have TJ or Hanlon or Taylor. The majority of our players are not Sam Folks' height. So we're playing these whipped low balls into the area where there's a lot of danger. Cian Breckin, in particular, will be coming out and helping the wings. In particular, he does tend to drift out to this right-hand side. So he'll be helping Kane Vincent-Young, which is why we've been allowing Kane Vincent-Young to get higher than boys, because Breckin prefers to push across. So we'll have Vincent-Young, we'll have Vokes here, we'll have Vincent-Young here, we'll have Breckin here. They're able to create a passing triangle. Yeah, Pep Guardiola style. A lot of teams are doing those sort of passing triangles now because they are very effective at keeping possession, and that's something that Bloomfield seems to want to do. We're not in any particular rush anymore. If the passes are on, okay, keep hold of it. Rotate it back. Give it back to the centre back. Give it back to a midfielder who's in space. It's no longer poof, hit it up. If the pass isn't on, so what? We'll hold on to the ball. We'll take Sting out of the game. It's a very strange transition, but it's what we're doing. Right, the centre mids, Leahy and Scowen, I imagine. They'll both get up the pitch. They'll both get down to defend. I imagine Scowen will be the one dropping a little bit deeper, while Leahy's given a bit more space to get forward. Both are technically very good. Both are physically very good. They're just two solid workman-like midfielders, but with technical ability as well. You can't really argue with it. Cian Breckin, as I've mentioned, he's been on corners. He's been on free kicks. Especially when Luke Lee went off. When JJ went off, he actually looked pretty good from them. As I said, he's got license to roam, but he likes to roam to this right-hand side a lot. So we might have Vokes coming in to support. We'll have Vincent-Young looking to make that overlapping run. We'll have Breckin coming in. He can give that through ball to Vincent-Young, or he can find a space for a Day Taylor run, or he can rotate it back in if it needs to be. He'd be there to recycle possession, but also help create chances. Then in front two, we have Samuel Vokes and Dale Taylor. Sam Vokes, I believe, will be used particularly for his ability with his feet. We've kind of think of him as a target man, somebody who can give the ball to his head. His ability to complement play, to create passages of play with his feet, put it to his feet, and then he can look behind him, see where the run is. Is there Breckin running? Is there Vincent-Young running? Is there Dale Taylor running into space? He did pick out those passes, we saw it last year with him in the middle, and then he had Mehmeti or GMAC on the side, and they were able to use his passes in a through ball, which was very, very exciting. And Dale Taylor will be our guy, I think, breaking the line, trying to split defences, trying to beat offside trap in areas. And we also say we might have the two centre-backs here. Vokes goes in to try and take up their time, passes out to Breckin, and then Breckin will put the free ball, and Dale's just going to run. He's got the speed to do that. Right, that's enough of that. I've got some other stuff written down here. I'm going to see, did I miss anything off the top of my head? I just do all this stuff off the top of my head. Let's see. Wing-backs push very high. I've mentioned that. Not necessarily a high press. So we're not going out like Jurgen Klopp Liverpool, or we're not pressing high, and we're not doing it all the time. But the press will be triggered, potentially if a sloppy pass is played, or if they think the opportunity is there, they will press. They will go for it, so that's good. Tactically fluid can easily become a 4-back, as I said, so you might have Grimmer, the right centre-back, then become the right back, with Kane Vincent-Young pushing up high. Wings back push very, very high to cause overloads. So, we've seen two different variations of this. So, when JJ has played as the left centre-back in attack, he has, and I don't mean this because it's the en vogue of what Pep Guardiola is doing, but he will push in and become a centre defensive mid. It happened at Wealdstone, and it happened a little bit at Cardiff, where in possession, when we had the ball, he would shift up a little bit so we could have a two-man back line with JJ a little bit up. It just helps us keep possession. It helps us give us a pass option who isn't as deep as the other centre-backs. When the opposition got the ball, he would return to either his left wing back, left back, or left centre-back role. So it's not like he's a centre defensive mid the whole game, but in possession he's going there. On the other hand, we've seen it so Cardiff, We had Freddie Potts dropping in and becoming almost a centre defensive mid. No, not a centre. He dropping on almost becoming a centre back. I remember Jack Grimmer went on this mazy run in the second half. He was still a centre back at the time, and I just made a joke saying, "Well, he's woken up and remembered he's a right wing back." And Potts dropped in to fill his run. It's actually very interesting. We're allowing players to space, and if somebody goes forward that maybe they're not supposed to, somebody will drop back to let them go on that run. It speaks to the tactical fluidity and tactical freedom we're giving the players compared to last couple of years, where apart from a Meti, you had a role and you did it. Short passing. We're looking to keep possession. The short passes. We're not just hoofing it long. As I said, if there's a space to make a run, the pass will go up, but we're not just hitting it long every single time and hope for the best. We're often looking for low crosses from the edge of the box. So take it up and cross back in. Really exciting. It looks like there's a lot of good opportunities. Didn't necessarily get to do that against Cardiff, but they are a championship team, and we played very well against Cardiff. Yeah, I talked about long balls. Balls played out through the centre back. So I've talked about how Max will be given the ball to which Kyo, for example, who will then play it out. I believe that's what's going to happen the majority of the time. The centre backs will be asked to do the passing. No, Max maybe will hit it long or hit it to the wing backs on either side. I think what's going to happen is Kyo's going to drop in. Then we're going to have the two centre backs sort of push to the edges of the box. Then a little bit farther up, the two wing backs will push right out to the edge of the pitch. So there's lots of options that they can't just press us because, well, if they press the right back, we can go left, or you'd need 4 or 5 players to commit, and you can't really do that because then you just got to go to the midfield or attack to where it's going to be an overload. So it's actually a really smart system, I think, to keep possession to work out up slowly. I'm going to talk about any individual players. TJ Bar impressed me. I think he'll actually be very, very good this season. I think he'll be coming in alongside Vokes as a striker. That's actually a very good thing. The board comes back. So, I've talked about this formation. This seems to be the formation we're looking at. But a couple of times we have went to a different formation. Still the 5 backs and the 2 midfielders. But then you would have Vokes up front, or Dale Taylor up front, and you would have 2 centre attacking mids just behind them. So, for example, against Cardiff, you had TJ and GMAC as 2 centre mids. So, you're creating that triangle first of all, and what we saw really well, and TJ nearly won a penalty, and I don't know how his goal didn't go in. It was a miraculous save. So, Vokes obviously occupies a space, and then he can give those balls to either side for these players to run into. I imagine it'll be a bit more aggressive, so TJ will be the one getting forward, a bit more GMAX looking for passes. But it's almost a 3-4-2 run rather than a 3-4-1-2. I think that'll just be depending on who's available for games, who's appeared, who's fit, or maybe this is just the best tactical approach for us. So we've went with that sort of formation against Wealdstone and against Cardiff. I just remembered it, so thank God I did. Right. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, and there's nothing that I can really remember. I don't want to go through and just list every player, what their roles are going to be, because I don't think I need to do that. So I'm really looking forward to Exeter this weekend. I'll be in the terrace, and I hope to see you all there. So have a great day.